told her to tell me to get out.
Trisha Paytas might be one of the most dramatic celebrities out there. They've gone into a crazy number of scandals over the years, but they always somehow managed to come back from it all. What were the biggest scandals Trisha's gone into over the years, and how did they recover from them time and time again? What is Trisha's secret? Trisha, who uses both she and her and they them pronouns, first became known in the public eye as a YouTuber. They created their YouTube channel in 2007 when the platform was still pretty small, and at first they were posting about their love for Quentin Tarantino, but it didn't take long before they started making all different kinds of other videos too, which were often the direct cause of the scandals they've gone into. And let's be honest, this was the early YouTube scene. A lot of creators posted videos that were really problematic, and they've been held accountable for them since. But the thing that makes Trisha unique in this is just how much of this kind of drama they've managed to get into. The difference is that they have always posted videos that they knew would create drama on purpose. They've even admitted to this in the past. They actually admitted to being an internet troll and posting rage bait on purpose to get more clicks and engagement, but that doesn't make the things they did any better or the accusations against them any less serious, especially since there's quite a lot of racism involved. Earlier on in their YouTube career, Trisha wore blackface while portraying a character they made up named Trishi. The character was supposedly a Japanese pop idol, which was another part of the problem. This obviously received a lot of backlash, and Trisha ended up eventually deleting all of the Trishi videos from their channel, but they've also had some less serious and more ridiculous controversial moments, like the time that they said that they were convinced dogs didn't have brains. They did later clarify that this was one of their attempts to farm clicks by trolling. Another time they pulled a long prank by first announcing that they were getting married soon. Then they spent a while posting a bunch of different teasers and dialing the excitement up for everyone. And ultimately they staged a whole wedding ceremony where they got engaged to a cardboard cutout of Brad Pitt. They documented the whole thing and of course posted the video on YouTube, and that's when people realized that Trisha was just trolling again. But some of Trisha's most controversial videos of all time actually have to do with their identity, and the most interesting part of it all is that with a lot of them, it's hard to tell if Trisha was actually trying to troll when they posted the videos. At one point, Trisha claimed that they had dissociative identity disorder, or did. They made a video introducing all their alters, the other personalities living in their body, as they claimed to the viewers. And here's the thing, if someone's saying they have a certain mental illness or disorder, it's not good to immediately just not believe them, especially if you're someone who doesn't have experience with that particular thing. But Trisha's video was called out even by creators who actually have DID, and they pointed out that a lot of what Trisha said about the disorder was actually just not correct information, and that's obviously damaging to the community as a whole, especially since DID is something that's already really stigmatized, and it's difficult for people who have it to even be understood. So if Trisha knew they didn't actually have DID and just made the whole thing up as a troll, that would be a pretty horrible thing to do. But the thing is, nobody, at least at the time, could be sure that Trisha didn't actually have the disorder. They did say they never actually received an official medical diagnosis for it, but then again, that doesn't necessarily mean they can't have the disorder anyway, and it would be really harmful and unfair to them to assume they didn't have it in case they actually did. A lot of people did assume and thought that this was just another of Trisha's trolls, and they received a lot of backlash for that video. Trisha did actually get diagnosed with a different mental disorder though. They have borderline personality disorder, or BPD, and that's something they sometimes talk about in their videos, but it wasn't just mental health issues that Trisha made questionable videos about when it comes to their identity. At one point, they claimed to identify as a chicken nugget, which obviously made the LGBTQ+ community really upset and angry. People claiming to identify as various objects often do it to devalue trans people and dismiss their experiences. And once again, it just looked like Trisha was doing this as a troll to get clicks and interaction. But especially looking back, it's obvious that Trisha has struggled with her identity over the years. A few years later, they actually came out as a trans man, and once again, they said some things that were just plain wrong and spread misinformation about trans people. They also used some offensive words in that video. But Trisha actually later apologized and said that their coming out as a trans man was never meant to be a troll, and they even acknowledged their mistakes in spreading wrong information and using offensive language. They came out as non-binary in 2021 and started using she, her, and they them pronouns then. And they explained that back when they came out as a trans man, they just didn't even know non-binary people existed. So it's easy to understand that they were just really confused about their identity, and they haven't been treating their coming out and their trans and non-binary primary identity as a troll either. It's pretty obvious that this isn't one of their trolls. Plus, it would be wrong to assume it was a troll even if it looked like it without confirmation from Trisha themselves. It just makes me wonder how much of a troll that chicken nugget video really was, because there's no way Trisha was being serious about that. But knowing how their identity developed later, maybe there could have been a part of them that was genuinely confused about their identity. Or maybe the chicken nugget video on some level was a way for them to try and deal with their identity crisis. Of course, the video was still harmful to the trans community at the time, but the problematic YouTube videos are just one part of all the drama Trisha has gotten into over the years, because it's literally their relationship with other creators that always seems to take center stage, and a lot of the time Trisha isn't really in the wrong there. They just keep having these falling outs with other content creators. One of the biggest ones involved David Dobrik's vlog squad. Trisha was basically part of the vlog squad for a while because they dated one of the members, Jason Nash, but the relationship seemed pretty toxic and genuinely not great for Trisha. And when they eventually broke up, that started a whole feud between Trisha and the vlog squad. And then there was their relationship with Ethan Klein from H3H3 Productions. Their feud started when Ethan used a picture of Trisha in one of his videos and Trisha called him out for body shaming them. But they actually went on to become a content duo of sorts. They started a podcast together called The Frenemies, and it was actually a really successful podcast because it turned out that Trisha and Ethan had great chemistry together. But then the podcast ended after only 9 months because of another feud. Trisha felt like they didn't have enough say in the podcast and weren't financially compensated enough for it, and they and Ethan just didn't manage to find a way to move forward with the podcast. But they actually didn't end up parting ways completely because Trisha married Ethan's brother-in-law, Moses Hochman, and the two of them are expecting their second baby in May 2024. So this one drama actually had a good ending. But anyway, what do you guys think about all this? Do you like Trisha Paytas? Why or why not? Let me know in the comments below.